want to know why? Because
Well, I like that intro right there, Quan. Yeah, that was a little fire right there. My guy Quan, on the ones and twos behind the scene, you know, that's the voice that you hear in the background. You know, he's my Joy Taylor.
You're Joy Taylor.
What it do, folks? It's another day, another Friday, fun Friday, Flag Football Friday, with your boy Sherm to talk all things football when it comes to Las Vegas. Talking about flag football here in the Valley. And we just kicked off last week. It was a banger. Games was going up. We saw new faces, new teams, saw a lot of veterans. You know, a lot of players came in. It was like, first off, let me reintroduce myself. Saw a lot of those out there as well, too. We saw a lot of teams get their ass kicked as well. So, you know, we brought everything to you last week, and we're going to talk about all of it. So, what I always like to start off, Quan, how's your week been, man?
It's been good, bro. I went to Cali over the weekend, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. My daughter turned 18, so I had to go out there to take her out and spend all my money. But I made a mistake.
What'd you do?
I took girls out too, so because I was hanging out with her Monday, all day Monday, in the morning. She has a boyfriend, and his birthday was on Monday, but that was the time we'd already set for me to go out there. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not going to hold you all day, Mm-hmm. So she went out with him to the movies on Monday night. So I decided to go to a Laker game Monday night. So even though I found cheap seats, like the concessions were more than the seats probably, the parking, all that stuff. But then I took a girl out the night before when I got to Cali, and so that's expensive. Not even a player, they're friends. A shout out to them.
To them.
But then gas, getting a room, man, it gets expensive. But I made that mistake. I should have just went out there, took my daughter out. But it's like, I'm going to be in Cali. Let me see some of my friends,
I mean, that's true, but you still went to a Laker game, so you
went
to Staples. Yep. You saw
and everyone there still calls it Staples. No one calls it Crypto.com.
Oh, that's right. No, I'm still calling it Staples.
No, we all do.
I've never been there, so I'm sure it was a great time, right? Who would y'all play?
We played the OKC Thunder, who at the time were second in the West. Very good young team, But Minnesota and Thunder are at the top of the West, right? And then Denver's right there too. Denver might take over the first spot by the time the season's over. Nobody's scared of Minnesota and OKC. I think they both lose in the first round because you have Lakers, Dallas, Sacramento, and Golden State in the play-in.
Yeah.
Trying to fight for 7th and 8th.
Yeah.
So let's say Golden State and Lakers get there. They're probably going to be favored over OKC and Minnesota.
Didn't y'all play?
But it was a fun game to watch.
Y'all played Minnesota last year in the playoffs, didn't you?
We played them in the play-in game.
That's what it was.
And then Minnesota ended up they had to win another game to get into the playoffs.
I mean, y'all look pretty good, man. I mean, it's a good date to show off your daughter's 18th, and the whole, plethora of friends that you have in LA.
Our friends out there.
Yeah, I get it. I want to grow up to be like you someday.
I mean, should have stayed single. I mean, not you should have, but I'm just saying, if you wanted to be like me, you should have. But you have a great wife, family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That, but at least you had fun, man. You know what's crazy is my daughter's 21st birthday this weekend.
That's wild, man.
21.
See, my daughter doesn't do like she's in church and everything, so she had like trouble years a couple years ago where she went through her little teenage years, but got out of that quick. She's always been a good kid, even when she was going through a little overly boy crazy phase.
Yeah.
It was, it was a little rough, but it wasn't like what I hear other parents deal with their kids. She doesn't smoke, she doesn't drink. I haven't had to worry about any of that. So
it's good, man. Nice Christian household and everything you raised her in. So, this is good, man. So for all y'all parents out there, Quan is a nice role model for that as well.
I try.
Too, right. So yeah, I want to give a shout out to everybody that's in the group chat. Got Dave Legend in here, and no, they're not Gucci. I mean, I don't got it like that. I don't have it like that, Dave. I do a little bit, but that's about it. Got my boy Mighty in here as well. He said he gonna be out there this Sunday, because we missed you this past Sunday. We gonna talk about that too. No call, no show on the first day of work. Yeah, we got an issue with that. Got my boy Jamil Woods in here. That's Tank, if y'all didn't know. Scooter, we gonna talk too, man, because I heard that you was out there on the field calling yourself the GOAT. And you know what's crazy? As we sit today, look, from one QB to another, and I told you this to your face, Scooter, you the best QB in Vegas right now. Hands down. Top QB in Vegas. So, got my boy Fabian here. That's Suge White. If y'all didn't know, he was a guest here as well, too. That's my guy. So, we And
real quick, before you get in the grid, I just have to touch on one other thing in sports. Because it just happened. And that is Anthony Joshua, Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, man, you got the video of that, too?
It ended a little early.
Oh, Quan,
second round.
Go ahead, Oh, that overhand right. Oh,
one more time. Oh man, I'm upset about that. Francis is my dude.
He's a guest of the show.
Yeah, he's been in the studio a lot.
And if y'all haven't seen, he's a big dude.
He's a big dude, and Joshua is actually a lot taller than him and bigger than him, and so that's scary. But yeah, man.
Remember that day we had Ngannou in the show, and then we had Hassan Rahman come in.
Yeah, Rahman came in right after him.
And Ngannou was bigger than Rahman.
Yeah.
Rahman is a big dude, right? But yeah, man, dude, that overhand right from Joshua, it seemed like he ain't beating no real fighters. But Ngannou, the way he fought Fury, it looked like he had a promising career in this. Can we get a Ngannou versus Jake Paul?
No, you can't, because he's fighting Mike Tyson on Netflix.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about that, man?
I mean, it's entertainment. I love it. I'm gonna watch it, and we don't have to pay pay-per-view. I would have had this Ngannou fight on if I'm not paying for this type of stuff.
I know.
I don't even pay for any boxing matches. Like I'll stream them, hack them, but I pay for all the UFC. That's enough.
You and me both.
But UFC has, their cards are always stacked. So, I can pay for UFC. I have UFC parties, so people come in, ship in the $10 for the fight and for food. and stuff like that. So it's worth it to me for that. But boxing, you only have the main card. You might have some undercards that are good, but we don't know who they are most of the time.
Right. Not until they start getting names about themselves. So, yeah, man. Look, it's a lot going on in sports. This is the time of year now. Like, football reigns supreme. We just had the combine last week, and I'm a big fan of the combine. It gives me a chance to go out there and start working out, pretending that I'm doing something. But you got NBA coming down to the home stretch. March Madness is right around the corner. Of course, spring training is coming through, and we're talking about boxing and MMA and all kind of things like that too. So right now, it's going up in the sports world, and this past Sunday was going up as well. But before we do that, I want to give a shout out to this week's sponsor as well too. Look, the one thing about this fraternity that we are in, our fraternity is a place where you can go and find whatever goods and services that you need from somebody who has your best interest at heart. Now, that doesn't mean go in and try to get super discounts. Don't take advantage of the guys as well, too. But my guy, Anthony Owens with Clean Sweep Solutions, have them come out and do all of your landscaping needs. They will take care of you. AO is a good player in the league as well. He's been a staple of our league for a while. So if you're going to get any landscaping done, any house maintenance, your guy AO at Clean Sweep is your guy. Matter of fact, he came out. This is one of the projects that he did as well too, and there was quotes for that lawn right there. Just that little area, there were companies charging $200 just to come in and pick up the weeds from that area. He came out and did it for under $40. So
That's what's up.
call your guy AO and have him come out and do all of your lawn maintenance needs at Clean Sweep. So there you have it, man. Look, let's dive into this week right now. Suge White said, "Where's the invite for those UFC parties?" Those are exclusive lists. Quan is really particular on, who he has, and you got to have VIP, bands on your wrist, and you got to,
Sometimes there's UFC fighters here, so I don't know if there's a fan that doesn't like that fighter.
That's true.
But listen, man. If Sherm comes, he can bring some people.
Yeah, a couple.
He can bring a couple people.
But
if you got money and you bring some food, we're open.
Oh, my guy, my nephew, Vic is in the building. He about to hop on the flight right now. Big baller. That's my guy, man. Yeah, we gonna talk about the baller boys. So since you about to hop on the flight, stay tuned. Tell all the flight attendants there and the pilot just to hold on. Matter of fact, tell everybody on the flight to tune in right now. Go to YouTube page. Go to GridCenter. You'll find all of your flag football needs here with the Las Vegas Gridiron League on YouTube, and of course here on our Facebook pages and other platforms as well too. So this past week, it's been a long layoff. It was good to see some of the old faces back out there, new faces. We even saw, my main guy Vince came out. He injured himself last season, but it was good to see him on the sideline. I think we got a live shot of Vince being crippled, but made himself out there as well. And it was nice seeing him. Yeah, there you go. There's Vince right there. It was good seeing him at the fields. Love seeing my guy, man. It's all love with him, man. And speedy recovery. He actually stood up a little bit and tried to take some steps and things like that. And it was good seeing him on the road to recovery. One thing about this league that we play in, it's a brotherhood, and you never want to see anybody else injured. We compete in between those lines. We will battle, we will talk trash, but the one thing we never want to see is somebody injured or hurt, because this is a brotherhood that's taking money off of their table, that's taking work and job opportunities away from their household, and so you don't want to see that. So speedy recovery to my guy Vince, but it looks like he's on the road there. I got my guy Don Villas in here. Yes, we are live. Don, Don's somewhere, doing some muscle fitness. He's always at some fashion show showing off his ab work. oiling up. He keeps a big, like, 2-gallon thing of baby oil in his backpack. Because you never know when he's going to strike a pose or something like that. He'll do something like that. Got my guy, Jay Smith, that's Jerry, the veteran up in here, Hall of Fame nominee, and Knox up in here as well, too. Knox, we're going to talk about you a little later. I got an issue with you that we're going to talk about, so stay tuned.
Did you take a piss on your outside gate, too?
That's between y'all. That's between y'all.
I just didn't know if that was a thing. Like, you just go to everyone's house of business and just pees on.
Maybe he's trying to market his territory.
He only did it once.
You know what I mean? He marketed his territory a little bit. Oh, and Officer Cody's in there. Yeah, we going to talk about you, too. Make sure you stay tuned, because we going to get into that. But if y'all haven't noticed, you see the games of this past week on the scroll below. And as I'm speaking now, you see that Dynasty Baller Boys game. That game went up. Score on the last play of the game. Look, let me just dive into that real quick. Because we had Dynasty, the defending champions, and Baller Boys, and everybody was like, "Man, who's the Baller Boys?" And I said, "Look, I can't tell. I signed a non-exclusive or exclusive rights contract to where I can't divulge that information." But it was basically a split of those two teams. And you had Scooter, the MVP, on one side. You had Danye and Davik and his partners on the opposite side going at it with, this week's MVP, just balling against each other. And the game came down to the wire. Baller Boys scored on the last play of the game. And instead of going for 1 for the tie, they go for 2 in the win. And they came up just a little bit short. Mm-hmm. Dynasty gets the win. Scooter gets the bragging rights. Scooter gets to talk his trash. Scooter gets to call himself the GOAT. And if I'm not mistaken, Scott may be undefeated in the last 12 months of football. That's unheard of. I don't count what happens over, across town. But Scott is undefeated as a quarterback in A7 and in grid. Look, that says a lot, man. And we get competitive, but you got to tip your hat and salute where it's due. Scott, you've been balling, man, and I told you that, and I'm here to let the world know that as well, man. You've been truly balling. And somebody asked me if I did like rankings and things like that, which we will as far as individuals in different positions, but you're right up at the top of the list, and there's only a handful of people that can even fight for that top spot. You being one, Jay, Jeremy, y'all kind of duke it out each and every season. And then you got other people after that, but right now, Scott, you at the top of that list, man, of top QBs here in the city. And you balling, man, and you deserve the, all the stuff, all the accolades. But with that being said, you are a natural quarterback and you play the QB position for a very long time. But your road dog, your counterpart, Eric Montreal Shuford, isn't a natural quarterback. But yet, can you pull that picture up real quick? Because this week's player of the week was your rival on the other side of the field. And it hurt me to do it this way because the reality is your stats and Munchie's stats were nearly identical. You both had 190 yards in offense. You both had 4 touchdowns, and you won.
That's the right picture?
No, it's the other one. We'll get to that guy in a minute.
My bad.
And you won the game. But the fact that Munchie doesn't naturally play the QB position, and he was able to go out there and go toe-to-toe, head-to-head with Scooter the GOAT, that says a lot. And so, Munchie, I give you your props as player of the week 1, spring 2024, because you went out there as a player. And I hate when people say, you're not a real QB, and no, he hasn't been playing QB, but a lot of us ain't real QBs. I mean, I wasn't a real QB at a certain point. I remember Jerry and I were talking. He wasn't a real QB, and he's one of the tops in the city, if not the country. So there's a lot of not real QBs who got championships, elite championships, tournaments, and MVPs around here. And maybe Munchie has a new calling. Instead of jump balling and banging out on everybody or $100 a ball, now he out there slanging a rock. I know for one thing, he's this week's Player of the Week. I'll have your award for you this Sunday at the Fields, my brother. Way to ball out. Even in a losing effort, way to command your team and put it all out there. Our other Player of the Week is my guy Doug Compton for GBA. Now, GBA, this is their first season over in the grid. Doug has come a long way from dropping nearly 100 pounds. And, he loves showing off his guns and everything like that. I get, when you work out, I guess it's, you can be proud of the results, right? So Doug's always posing like that, but he's a genuinely good guy. Doug went out there and commanded his GBA team to a commanding victory over GBP, put up 26 points, 4 touchdowns. So Doug, you are also week 1 Player of the Week. I'll have your award out there for you as well, my guy. Way to put it down. And the one thing he told me, because they normal starting QB is Mr. Magic Man. He goes by Jackson Rain. And if y'all haven't checked out his show, just Google search Jackson Rain. He has several different Guinness Book world records for Magic. But he's not there. And Doug is running things, and he just balled out this week. So my guy Doug Compton and Munchie, y'all are week 1 Players of the Week. Appreciate it. We got all that technical stuff all taken care of, Quan?
I believe so.
All right, cool. Well, look, man, like I mentioned, you can see some of the scores down there and what everybody did and how everybody balled out, man. We had some great games. And this week, we're going to have some even more heat to bring to you. Let's get into point spreads, and I'll do the rankings last. How about that? So bring up those point spreads. Let's do the morning first. Let's bring up morning point spreads, because we're going to start off with a bang this week with 2 undefeated teams, 2 classic teams too. 2 teams that's been in a grid for years. We took a little hiatus in the morning, and now that we're back, these 2 teams and their captains are coming back to push their teams to the victory. So, we got matchups this week with Sin City Goons with T. Jones versus Monstars and Zach Luciano, the Italian. But we got Sin City favored by 3 against Monstars this week. And that's tough too, because both teams had great victories. Sin City won their game. Monstars led their game all the way down to the stretch and then ended up losing to a very powerful Heem team. But Monstars had full control of that game throughout and gave up the booty at the end. Tried to hold out as long as they could, but, things happen. So I got Sin City -3 versus Monstars in the morning. In our second game, we got Death Row, new team, versus the Uncrowned Kings. That's a semi-pro team. Now let me take a step back real quick, because a lot of times, and everybody on this group chat, Mighty's calling Monstars by 14 already. Sheesh. All right. So look, everyone in our group chat can agree to this. There's been a time where somebody says, well, what if we put pads on? What if we tackle? So I've always invited those tackle teams to come out to flag, because flag is a whole different beast in itself. And people forget, all of us played tackle our whole life. Whether it was playing at the park, playing in high school, or if you were fortunate enough to go beyond that, we all played tackle. But flag is a different animal. And the Uncrowned Kings are one of those semi-pro tackle teams that have transitioned over and put a team in flag. And last week against Sin City didn't shape up too well for them. And of course it was, let's put on the pads. And of course Sin City was like, for what? Y'all here. So stop us. But this is going to be a good game here because these are two new teams. So let's see what Death Row is able to do, and if the Uncrowned Kings are able to adjust and defeat a new team. But I got Death Row. I think Mike Yoder's the starting quarterback over there, veteran. I got Death Row -1. In our next game, I got Heem -15. Now this is, Heem is a perennial championship team, and GBP is a veteran team as well too. But my insider said that they have a little turmoil happening within their team. And so when we're done with our show today, I have to get my insiders together to make sure that everything is going to go smooth with GBP. But as we sit right now, and that point spread can change, we got Heem favored by 15. And of course, the aforementioned GBA with this week's Player of the Week, Doug Compton, against the Little Giants and my guy Mingo. The Little Giants, I like that they chose that name. They are a co-ed team getting prepared for Corporate Challenge. And if you are a corporate team here in Vegas, Corporate Challenge is huge. Why not bring your squad over to the grid, get prepared for Corporate Challenge? Because there's no better competition that you're going to face than right here. You'll be well prepared for everything that you deal with when it comes to Corporate Challenge playing here in the grid. But I got GBA favored by 14 against them. Let's move on now, because my guy Dom is itching for me to talk about 5-man. Because 5-man starts tomorrow under the lights. Saturday night 5-man league is turning up tomorrow night at 5 p.m. at Ed Fountain Fields. So we got the perennial champions, What Next? Now, What Next has been in the last 3 5-man championships. Last season, they faced a heartbreak in the championship game, similar to what I mentioned with Baller Boys in Dynasty. What Next lost by 1 point, scoring on the last play of the game and coming up short on an extra point, losing that game to the eventual champion Heems that season. So it's interesting on what Next is going to bring, because they don't have QB24. They don't have, rest in peace, Sherm on the squad either. But they still got Killer Cam, who's their captain. And he's always able to pull talent together. So I got What Next -2 over Team Dub. My guy, Warner Trudeau, the New Orleans, and that's a really stacked squad as well too. That's probably going to be your top game. But I got What Next -2 over Team Dub. Our next game, though, Heem versus Renegades. This is the game that Dom wants to talk about. Because Dom, if I'm not mistaken, you haven't been able to beat Heem. And, Dom is always somewhere, in somebody's tournament or, splashing baby oil all over himself, trying to show off, his cuts and everything. But it's interesting to see what you got this season. And if you're able to get over the hump of the top of the class in the 5-man league. I know you can do it. I mean, 5-man is your forte. But the insider still got Heem -7 over Renegades tomorrow night in 5-man under the lights. And Smooth said, Dom been crying about the league being contact. And that's true. So we have moved to a non-contact format, to kind of even the odds with some of the team who may not be as familiar with the physical brand of football that we put out here in Las Vegas. So we are non-contact now. It gives the quarterbacks a little more time to throw. It eliminates the jam at the line of scrimmage, and lets the the receivers get a free release into their route. So we'll see if that changes up now, and we'll see what they do. But Smooth said it doesn't contact, non-contact, pillowcases, bubbles. It doesn't matter. Smooth said he beating y'all by 10. Dom. Smooth said he winning by 10. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night under the lights, 5-man at GridCenter. And then our last 5-man game, we got 2 new teams full of veteran players. We got the blue. I got a little choked up there. We got the Blue Man Group.
Because you really like the Blue Man Group, the show. So
they're good, man. I mean, they're a staple on the strip here.
Yeah.
So we got the Blue Man Group versus the Public Enemies. Now, everybody's going to say, well, who are these teams? You have to just show up and see. Because you're going to see plenty veterans with both teams, but you just got to show up and see. We got our hot dog vendors out there, man. She was grilling up some of those big links with the sausage and peppers and everything. She'll be out there too to make sure y'all taken care of, make sure y'all are fully fed as well. But those are the 5-man point spreads for Saturday under the lights at the Grid Fields. And let's do 8-man nights point spreads. Pull that up for me, Quan. Boy, had me tearing up a little bit over there. Now, I always say this. Grid Sunday nights, is the most competitive and the best league on the West Coast, bar none. I mean, every team on there, virtually every team on there has won an elite championship at some level. Or have components on their team that have won elite championships. So every game is a hard-fought game. And this week is going to be no different. And you just look at the lineup there. I mean, you can see a few games that are going to go up. I'm going to start at the bottom right there. Dynasty versus No Limit. If y'all don't remember, last season in the playoffs, in the semifinals, Dynasty versus No Limit was a classic game that took last season's MVP, Miles Douglas, scoring with 30 seconds left. And Scooter and Dynasty had to do a fumble-rooski, lateral, the band's on the field type of play to win on the last play of the game. And Dynasty ended up being the eventual champions. No Limit been itching for their comeuppance, for their revenge against Dynasty ever since. So that's our feature game tomorrow at 8 p.m. Dynasty versus No Limit. But our bookmakers got Dynasty -6. And one of the main reasons is No Limit no-showed last week, week 1. That's a no-no. You can't no-show on your first day. So I don't know if that was jitters, if they were scared. I don't know. But we going to see come this week if No Limit was last season a fluke and they're going to go back to their old ways, or if they're going to take the next step up, because we already see Dynasty is with all that. Our next game, let's go to another feature game. I kind of want to just go with some of these feature games too. You look at that Serial Killers versus Monstars. Serial Killers, I mean, they whooped up on Heem last week, 30-15. Jeremy was in his bag. Dex was in his bag. Leonard with the, injuries and all that was in his bag. Stone was balling out. But Monstars are still Monstars. And they are hungry. But we got Serial Killers -2 against Monstars this week. And I'm seeing lots of Monstars players in here right now. Terrion asking if we can delay the Monstar game because you get off at 5. No! I'll say it again. No!
Yeah, call in sick. Say you have COVID.
Yep. Or just sneak out a little early. Ain't nobody gonna know. Just sneak out a little bit early. But the game will be started promptly on time, T. My bad, bro, but it is what it is. Got to keep the schedule, man. Another game. All the Smoke right after that. All the Smoke versus Heem. Now, what's crazy about these teams is in the mornings, they combine together as one team. So there's a real brotherhood within those squad. So, it's almost like an inner squad scrimmage that we're going to have right here. But all the Smoke versus Heem. And last week, NVC, most valuable Cam, was in midseason form, carving up the death row defense, running, throwing. He was doing his damn thing out there. And Heem started making a comeback against Serial Killers last week, but it was a little too late. We'll see if they get a faster start this week and get on a winning track. But we got all the Smoke -1 versus Heem. In a couple of our other games, we got Death Row versus Aches and Pains. Death Row is a team that have added some veteran leadership, but they still are learning how to play the game and how to win. They got talent all over the board, and that's why the bookmakers got them -6 against Aches and Pains, which is a brand new team. And they said that they're going to bring Aches and Pains to the field. Last week, they was on the other end of it because they was getting shellacked last week. Let's see if they step up this week.
I've seen a lot of new names this season.
It is. So, a lot of new teams. Some teams have changed up their names as well, too. Kind of a fresh start a little bit.
Yeah, when you're bad, like every year, you got to kind of
switch it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes you want to try to catch your opponent off guard with the whole new name and come out. A little gamesmanship. But that goes away after week 1. It's a long season. So there's not really much to hide. Just, let everybody know. You're only going to surprise the team you played week 1. And then after that, everybody know.
Yeah.
But Aches and Pains is a new team. And I appreciate
Strip clubs
them.
do that too when they're, when they do some bad business and they have to switch up the name. They got the same girls, same owners, same everything. They just change the name up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of that here, right?
Yeah.
Under new management.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of it. Well, let me take that back. I drive by and see a lot. Yes, that's what
you haven't been inside.
Yeah, of course. Yes. We all know that, right? And our next game over there, too, the one game we haven't spoken about is the Baller Boys with MVP Munchie. -15 over Pinches Bomberos. Those are the firefighters over there. Now, what they did tell me last week, they said, Sherm, look, this isn't all of our firefighters. These are some other guys, too. Firefighters pride themselves on being in shape, being athletic. So they let me know that this isn't our full firefighters team. We just pulled some of the guys with a mixture of other guys, and so we had to change the name. But they balled out last week. They beat Aches and Pains with it wasn't even their backup quarterback. It was just their team captain came out and played quarterback. They said their normal quarterback will be here this week. And the normal firefighters have a good squad. So we'll see what they pull out. But Baller Boys are the Baller Boys by name. But I did hear that Davik is on a flight. I'm assuming that he may not be back for the game. Interesting. So we'll see how my insiders adjust the point spread there with that Baller Boys versus Pinches Bomberos. We'll see how that works out. But that's your point spreads. Put your money where your mouth is. Make some of those side bets. and see who really is going to win some money this week. Those are the point spreads right there. If y'all got some intel that's going to create a better betting line for you, have at it. But it'll be interesting to see what y'all got going on. I got my guy Tyler Walensky in the building. He said last week he had some family stuff happen, which is why he wasn't at the Heem game. So I'm assuming you're going to be there this week, and Tyler is a whole different animal in himself. I know personally he's been on, we've played together and won multiple championships together. He's a road dog for me, and he is a cheat code for any team that he plays on, and he plays on Heem, and that's why they're so good. Not the only reason, because they got plenty of good players, but we will see. Who else we got up in here? I got the twins up in here too. I got the Harris brothers up in here. Like I mentioned, Cody Johnson's in here. I got my guy Shep in here as well too. Say he'll lock down any DB in Vegas. So I love the confidence in the man. Gelato. Got Vinny up in here as well too. So we'll see what it do. But you know what, man? Let's go on and get to these rankings. Look, I love the rankings, because everybody wants to see where they place and where everybody think that they are. And with these rankings, the grid rankings, we always start from the bottom and we work our way up to the top. So coming in the 10th spot is Monstars, the morning squad, because Monstars got two squads here. The morning team dominated their game last week, fell short at the end. So you come in at the number 10 spot. And this is a combination of morning and night. So we're going to blend this all together. So Monstars come in at number 10. They're 0-1 right now. Look to make a change this week. They still got a tough game coming up. Our number 9 team, Hemocracy, Night Squad. Again, they fell to serial killers last week. They're 0-1. Both teams look to move up the rankings after this week. Our number 7 team, my number 8 team, Monstars Night Squad. Now, they got a nice forfeit win. Hey, look, it's good when you can put one of those under your belt and avoid any injuries. So we got Monstars Night Squad coming in at 1-0. Our number 7 team, this week's MVP, Doug Compton, and his group coming out GBA 1-0. Welcome to the squad. Welcome to the grid. Go on and get your kudos right now. But like I mentioned, ain't no easy wins each week. So be prepared. Don't let it go to your head. Our number 6 team, Hemocracy Morning Squad. Now, the thing about Heem, like I said, they got 2 squads. Same with Monstars. And for the most part, they keep it all together. They look to come out and win. I don't think a team had the full trifecta where they've won morning, 5-man, and night. Heem is looking to do that this season. Our number 5 team, T. Jones, Big John, and the Sin City Goons. They got a hell of a squad. Matt Murphy. They got a team over there, man. They got some players. They come in 1-0 after a throttling of the semi-pro team. Our number 4 ranked team is our highest seed lost team, the Baller Boys. 1 conversion short of being potentially the number 1 ranked team, but it's a game of inches, right? Game of inches.
So my girl tells me.
Well, they say, size doesn't matter too, right? You tell her that, don't you? No comment.
They only tell certain people that.
No comment. Oh, man. So our number 4 ranked team, Baller Boys. Our number 3 team, and they are hungry. They have a comp championship but not an elite one. This is all the smoke. And they put the pieces together strategically to go against whether it's a spread squad or a conventional squad. They put all the pieces together. They don't plan on being this low for long. We got all the smoke coming in at number 3. Our number 2 team, they're always at the top of the rankings too. We got serial killers. They're just good. And it's crazy when they get off the bus, they don't look the part always. They call themselves fathletes. They just win. They're good at what they do. Number 2 ranked team, serial killers. And our number 1 ranked team, holding it down for 2 straight weeks, Scooter, Randall, Dynasty, our defending champs. Back at it again. You got a difficult task this week because you got a team that has been, targeted you all off season. They feel that they were not given their just due last season in y'all playoff game. So y'all better come with it. And I'm sure you will. Y'all are who you are. That's why you're the top of the bracket. Like I said, Scooter hasn't lost a game in over a year at QB. It's ridiculous. So there you have it, guys. There's the top 10 rankings. Y'all better do whatever you can to try to move up those rankings as well, because if you don't, where you at? What you doing? Are you putting in the work? So, I love to see it. I love to see a lot of these new teams like the Death Row Morning Squad, Aches and Pains, Little Giants, the Pinches Bomberos, Uncrowned Kings. A lot of these new teams, man, I love seeing y'all put the work in right now. Got my guy, Coach Isaacs, in the chat. Fika's in the chat as well, too. Nephew Danye in here. Chops is in here as well. But, look, we little pressed for time. One thing I always talk about our league, we are the players' league. Me being a player and owner, I like having my ear to the street of what y'all like, what you enjoy, so I can make the right changes. And I salute y'all for coming out there. And one of the things that we did this week, we had someone kind of pop their cherry, if you will. We had Officer Johnson in Knox. Knox, you a bad influence, bruh. Got Officer Johnson out there taking shots. Look, we had a great time out there, right? We have a lot of fun, a lot of laughs and jokes and everything. But what they don't do is Knox didn't show you behind the scenes after the game was over with on the car ride home between him and Cody after him taking that shot. Quan, go ahead and cue that up. This is what happened.
Yeah, I know you got secrets. Everybody got secrets. Didn't know you like to get wet, though.
What's wet?
Butt naked. Ill. Sherm. Dust. PCP. Primos. E-Dog. That's what you had. That's what you were smoking. You couldn't taste it.
No, I never done it.
You have now. I haven't, but you have.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Man, I'm gonna get piss tested and I'm gonna get fired.
Lieutenant's got our back. We know a week before we piss.
Oh, shit. Shit.
Oh!
Why did you do this to me?
You're an adult, man. Shit. Nobody told you to smoke that. Made a decision, live with your decision. Ain't like I put a gun to your head.
There you have it, y'all. That was the car ride home afterwards. Look, man, I love y'all, man. Y'all are my brothers. I look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow night at 5 Man Under the Lights. And of course, Sunday morning and Sunday nights as we go up again But make sure you tune in. Go into the YouTube, go to GridCenter, subscribe so you can get all the fresh new content. You see, we got empty chairs here as well. So I'm definitely need guests coming up. I got Coach Isaac coming up soon, Mingo coming up soon as well too. But if you got something that you want to talk about and discuss here on the show, let me know. Let's get you scheduled so you can come out here and bring to light some of the things that you do. In the meanwhile, I look forward to seeing y'all. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. One last note, tomorrow night, 6:30 at Charlie Frias. We're doing the balloon release for Sherm is being done tomorrow at Charlie Frias Park at 6:30 as well too. So if you have time in your schedule, let's go out there and pay our respects to our fallen brother as well too. In the meanwhile, I look forward to seeing y'all and catch you next time on the grid. Sherm.